Exactly.
Nasdaq announcing it's going to be partnering. You got to go slow with this for me to say, Adena, with Airbus, a subsidiary of Airbus, Skytra, to provide core technology for the company's derivatives trading venue. Skytra is recently established. It's a venture from Airbus that enables the trillion-dollar global air travel industry to hedge revenue risks through its indices that track the daily changes in the price of air travel. And join us for that. And more news, obviously. But she's really smart because you got to start, like I say, go slow, as well as her thoughts on the IPO environment and more. So you can actually quantify what a seat costs and hedge risk for the industry, and it's a joint venture announcing today with Airbus. Can you explain it? Is that it?
So Nasdaq has been working very hard to make sure we expand our strategy in our market technology business, and we've come onto the show before to say the technology that supports the capital markets really should support markets beyond just the financial industry. And this is a great example of the type of marketplace that you can create to really help other aspects of the economy hedge risk and to manage through and create liquidity in certain parts of their business. And so Airbus came to us with this, with their idea, and they have asked us to partner. We provide the trading technology, the surveillance technology, and actually they're using our clearinghouse in Europe to clear the trades. And what they've done is they've done a partnership with a company that tracks every ticket price, every pre-trade and post-trade, right? So before the purchase and after of every ticket price. And they're able to look at certain routes, certain regions in the world, and they can say, well, how much has that price changed? They create an index on that, and they therefore are now creating a derivative that they can be traded. So you can hedge out, let's say, the risk of the route between the U.S. and Europe, or maybe between London and New York at some point in the future. They can do this on a broad basis, or they can do it for a particular airline. And it's also really helpful for the travel agency business, too. Because so you have a natural alignment of interest between the travel agencies, the airlines, and all of the people and consumers, obviously, in terms of how they manage the risk of ticket prices.
Do you see consumers doing this?
So they are not offering this right now to consumers. It's definitely a professional market. But at the same time, the consumers use the travel agencies. So if the travel agencies are able to hedge out some of their ticket price risk, they should be able to pass that benefit on.
Do you know what fears of a pandemic in China?
That's what I was just thinking. Right?
Yeah,
like a slowdown between when you see
Wuhan be a way to
being
hedge
shut
the
down.
risk against travel to China?
I think it would allow you to hedge a lot of different risks if you're an airline industry. And one of the things that they talk about is the fact that in any given month, the price of a ticket or the cost of a ticket can vary by as much as 20%. So which makes it very hard for airlines to really create and manage their revenues. And of course, if you can create more stability in the revenue base by having hedging products like this one, then obviously it gives them more confidence in making capital purchases like airplanes.
Do you see corporations using this? Now, the reason I say it is I'm thinking of Apple, for example, which I don't even know what there was a number that was given out a couple years ago, but just how many people fly literally out of San Francisco from Apple to China in a given year just because they're constantly going back and they just have employees constantly going back and forth.
Yeah.
Would you go hedge that risk?
So if they have an internal travel agency, they could really do that. Or they could work with their travel agency to see whether or not they could try to create some hedges against that risk. And so I actually think exactly what you're thinking about is how Skytra is thinking long term. And what's great about working with Airbus is they're very focused on the long term because, of course, to build an airplane takes a while. So they have definitely a long-term orientation to this as well to make it so it does change the face of travel. It makes it so that there's more stability in the industry going forward.
Hey, Adena, while you're here, let's talk about the IPO market and what you expect this year. What's 2020 going to look like?
Well, right now, actually, the pipeline of prospects, IPO prospects, is very strong, very interesting. I would say that both in terms of private equity companies, private equity held companies, as well as technology companies, the biotech industry continues to be very strong, and so and fintech and other parts of the industry are in the sectors. And so we are having a lot of meetings, a lot of interest, a lot of companies looking to tap the public markets in the first half.
Because it's looking better than we were a year ago at this point.
Yeah, I think also the resiliency of the economy has been very strong, and so you're seeing that. And I think that there's more and more confidence coming into the markets, and so I believe that people feel like it's the right time for investors to take that equity risk as these companies are coming out.
Adena, thank you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.